All right. Well, we've talked about a couple of the sort of the feature advancements that we're making in Update 28, and that is only scratching the surface. We've got a lot of smaller quality of life improvements that are coming in that we're not going to talk about yet. That we'll be able to sort of, you'll be able to explore it if you play the game in the public test realm. One thing we definitely want to call out, though, that might be a little bit harder for players to sort of notice up front. Is this problem. So this is a capture of my achievement list for State of Decay 2. And you'll notice this is the list of achievements that I have not yet gotten. Some of these are our most difficult to get achievements, some of our rarest achievements, but probably the one that takes the cake is Shots in the Dark. Shots in the Dark is our most unfair, ridiculous achievement. You'll see that only 0.31% of State of Decay 2 players have unlocked it, and that's for a reason. It's because when we set it up, the idea was that we were going to have these 6 Echo Lab weapons. They were going to be scattered around the map, and if you found them all, it would be like a scavenger hunt. If you found them all, then we'd give you an achievement for it. But when the rubber hit the road and we started actually implementing this feature, the loot system did not cooperate with us the way we wanted to, and we could not actually guarantee that all 6 weapons would spawn on a given run. In fact, most of the time, players were finding that they literally could not find all 6 weapons, which made this achievement impossible for them to get on that run. And some players took multiple runs trying to get this achievement, which is more effort than we ever intended people to have to do. So we needed a solution, and we sicked Joe Swarner on it. So Joe, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you have done to make this Heartland achievement more achievable?
Yeah, so I've been here for a while, and so I have quite a bit of institutional memory, we'll call it. Not as much as others, but more than some. And so I kind of remember when Heartland was being set up, what we were trying to do. And so when Trumbull Valley, the full map was released, there was a designer, Jeff Tuffley, I think. Mm-hmm. He was either setting them up or found a way to create them.
Yeah, he was building the discoveries, right?
Building the discoveries that players have already seen in Trumbull Valley. And so using that technology and that system, what I did was I went into Trumbull Valley.
The Heartland version of Trumbull Valley.
The Heartland version of Trumbull Valley. Sorry. Trumbull Valley persistent. Nothing. I didn't say that out loud.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go into
the names of the maps behind the scenes. The new Trumbull Valley is called Faustite in the file system, but the original Trumbull Valley that was in Heartland is called Trumbull Valley. So it's really easy for us to think of that as being of the Trumbull Valley map, and the other map is just having another identity. So anyway, there you go. Yeah. So you went into the original Trumbull Valley map from Heartland, and now you've got discoveries, which is a technology that we did not have when we were originally building Heartland.
And there were certain parts of the story that we in Heartland where even though that's sort of our story mode, there were certain parts of the story that we didn't get to pay off. And one of those was actually finding these bodies that had these weapons on them already around the map. And so essentially what I did is using the technology that had been developed to tell better stories in the latest release of the full Trumbull Valley map in the main game. I took that back into Heartland, created some very similar discovery type things for players to go around in the sandbox and find on their own, and recreated in a system that works, cross his fingers, in a system that works.
Like the original plan we had for like what that experience was supposed to be like.
Put the original plan back in with, with a few flourishes of my own, but for the most part, it's a scavenger hunt. So, when you get your hands on it, I don't want to spoil anything.
Exactly.
But I also have a huge thanks to say to Zoe, because she helped fix the achievement. There was a weird bug, and she submitted the fix, I think, today.
Yeah, there's nothing we do in this game that doesn't require multiple people to contribute different expertises to make it happen. And so we decided not to try to jump into Heartland, not to try to show you what Joe made, because a big part of it, this feature is called Discoveries for a reason. It's the stuff that feels best if you're discovering it organically. So if you go into Heartland and you start exploring that map, the boundaries of the map, and if you don't necessarily initially find what you're looking for, Joe also put in a mission to sort of prompt you and point you in the right direction. If you get to a certain point in the story and you haven't yet found these discoveries, we'll give you a little bit of a kick in the pants to go in the right direction. But yeah, it's a scavenger hunt with a story behind it.
And I'm still polishing a bit. There's also a mission that lets you know when you've gotten the last one. So, and then anyway.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward for players, getting into the public test realm, checking this out. And actually, there's one more thing. We are running out of time. I just realized how close we are to the end of the wire. So let's quickly move on to show one last addition that's going into Update 28.
Also, a big shout out to Brant, who did the art.